Welcome to Backstory and Beyond. My name is John Daniel, and I'm humbled to be your host. But I'm thrilled to be here with Mr. Rodney Davis, who is the Community and Citizenship Director of the Turner Construction Company. Welcome, sir. It's good to see you, man.
Great seeing you, John.
It's been a while. Last time was New Orleans.
And thanks for having me.
Oh, man, it's an honor, man. Look, Rodney, I want to share with you the nature of Backstory and Beyond. It is a show dedicated to helping citizens become their best. And in doing that, we look at issues that you and I will talk about later, such as purpose, calling, peak human potential, and finally, service to other people. That said, one of the most important things in this show is to hear your backstory. We know you serve as the Community and Citizenship Director of one of the largest construction companies in the world, if not the largest. But none of this means anything without looking at you and who you are and how you were knit together. That's what Backstory and Beyond is all about. Sir, the floor is yours. Please share about where you've come from and how it led to who you are today.
That's a lot to put into motion, but I'll start at the beginning. I was raised in Chester, Pennsylvania by my grandmother. She adopted me and my brother and raised us. We were the first, me being the first, to go to college. And my younger brother, Kevin, followed me to the same college I went to. We played on the same basketball team in college. And lucky enough, I was able to intern as a criminal investigator with the federal government while I was in school and took a position as a special agent upon graduation. I worked with the federal government for a number of years in New York, Boston, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, and Atlanta. Ultimately retiring as a special agent in charge of 13 states and the District of Columbia. Had a great career. Retired right in the middle of COVID. And one of my friends recommended this job that I currently have with Turner for me to apply for. I applied for the job. I was happily retired. If I got it, I got it. If I didn't, I didn't. And if I got it and didn't like it, I'd go back home and be retired. But lucky enough, I got the job and I more than like it. I love it because of the responsibilities that it gives me. You know, my job entails identifying minority, women, disabled, veteran, and LGBTQ-owned construction firms to partner with Turner Construction as subcontractor. Additionally, we have a workforce development and future builder program that we want to introduce the construction industry to young adults. I actually coordinated with the school district of Philadelphia and created what I call the Introduction to Construction Seminar. I take an engineering firm, an architectural firm, Blackney Hayes Architects, the Carpenters Union, Sheet Metal Workers Union, Bricklayers Union, and Electrical Union. And we talk about all the multiple careers available in construction, which there are many. Philadelphia currently is the second poorest big city in the United States. There are so many families that are financially challenged. Using the construction industry and specifically the skilled trades is a great way for individuals coming from situations and backgrounds like that can change their lives for the better for generation.
You know, as you're speaking, there are two things I reflected on. One, the good work that you're doing and the span of it. But it made me think when you're trying to create transformation to help people see something they would otherwise not see because they haven't been given access or exposure to it. What about your background and where you were raised allows you to intelligently and in a culturally competent way communicate with the people that you serve?
Well, being from a very financially challenged situation, I can attest that when you have an opportunity placed in front of you, and this is my advice to young people, make sure you take advantage of it. There's too many young people that have been given opportunity to succeed and they have not taken advantage of it. And I think that's the biggest point. And oftentimes they use situations as an excuse to not succeed. And I think it should just be the opposite. It should be a motivation to succeed. If you're living in a financially challenged situation where sometimes you don't know where your next meal is coming from, why would you use that as an excuse not to be successful or not to work hard or not to really do your best at whatever it may be? You could be the best car washer you could be. You know, not every career is going to be a professional, glamorous career, doctor, lawyer, entertainer, whatever it may be. There are thousands of jobs that give you opportunity to financially support your family and move forward in a productive way as a citizen. And that's my message to young folks.
That's excellent, sir. I think, though, there's a powerful background that you haven't disclosed yet. The challenging circumstances that you experience coming up that allows you to understand some of the pains, the challenges of the folks that you serve.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I face many different backgrounds, and I don't really want the conversation to be about me. I want it to really be about the position I'm in currently to make a difference for other people's lives with the assistance of my employment with Turner. What I faced 40 years ago molded me into the person I am now, but I've had lots of experiences throughout my adult life which made me the person I am. Again, I was a federal agent. I also taught at Georgetown University at night. I coached basketball, high school basketball, for about approximately 15 years. I've been a mentor in the, Big Brother, Big Sister program. I'm currently a mentor in the ACE, or board member in the ACE mentoring program, and I serve as a mentor here in Turner Construction for some of our younger employees, where I have one-on-one conversations with them about their futures, about where they want to go, and how to best achieve their career goals and personal goals.
What I hear you saying, sir, and I love it, is in spite of and because of the challenges you had as a child coming up in Chester,
Yes.
a very violent part of Philadelphia. You know, I'm from North Philly. So I know what's in Chester. And so I know the kind of challenges that you had. And no, it's not about you. It's about what you have become. And in spite of and because of some of the things you had to deal with, it said, I've got to go forward. And that's what you're sharing with the young people that will see this or hear something about this. You're also sharing the benefits of what you learned working for the government to see things clearly in terms of outcomes, activities, measurements, and dig deep to find out what the truth is. And we live in a world now where fact and fiction are not clear. Tell me, what are your thoughts on what's happening with the transformation of the media concerning information, misinformation, and disinformation. And how does that relate to some of the young people, some of the adults that you want to communicate to get engaged in the construction industry?
Well, I think, the media situation in the United States, or probably worldwide, is very sad right now, because I don't care which side of the political spectrum you sit on or you align yourself with. All the media is lodged for both sides, whether you're a liberal or a conservative. I mean, you watch the news, a news story will come out, and you can watch a liberal news station and then watch a conservative news station, and you would think they were two different, whole complete stories.
Mhm.
And really, I think for the younger people in the world, you're a teenager right now. What are you supposed to believe? You're getting stories from both sides of the fence. No one's really being honest. Politicians are lying. News media are lying. I mean, just stare straight into a camera like I'm looking into this camera and lie to you when they're lying. And like I said, it's sad. We've become almost a laughing stock to the world right now, in my opinion, just from the lack of truth in anything. I'm an adult, a very educated adult, and I don't believe anything I see on the news unless I research it myself. It's sad that the world has come to that. I've actually stopped watching national news stations, CNN, Fox, MSNBC, things such as that. I watch the local news because they focus more on local stories that affect my daily life, which I can track. I don't get into the political spin. That's up to other individuals to fight for. My whole purpose is trying to do the best I can to represent Turner Construction Company as a professional, as well as meeting the goals of my department, which is really helping others. In addition to just identifying minority small contractors who work with us, I also organize volunteer events to make an impact in the communities where we at. So I coordinate all the volunteer events for our company, and employees at Turner are allowed to work these volunteer events during their working hours, as many hours as they want. It is encouraged. We really go out of our way to identify situations on how to make a positive impact in the communities where we are.
I really want to focus in on that because you clearly stated some things concerning the values of Turner Construction Company, but I actually want the audience to hear compartments, mission, vision, values, objectives of overall the Turner Construction Company. Take your time, sir.
Oh, yeah. Turner is an outstanding, I've been with Turner for 4 years, outstanding employer. I can't praise them enough. And I know it sounds corny and people will question it. Oh, you work for Turner. Believe me, I don't even have to work. Turner's a great employer. They treat their employees very well. The term Peter Davern and our other leadership comes up with is active caring. They want to create an active caring culture in our offices, not just for our employees, but for our trade partners who work on our project site. Everyone is valued. Every opinion is valued. No one is to be discriminated against, harassed, bullied, or otherwise any mistreatment. And that is a message that comes out almost on a daily basis with Turner. And to be honest with you, you could feel it with your coworkers here. We have great people in this office that I've worked with. And I worked in many offices in the federal government. And pardon my French, I worked with a ton of assholes. I mean, a ton.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I've been with Turner for 4 years, and I've yet to meet an asshole employee at Turner. And that says a lot for this company. And I'm a good reader of people, believe me. So it's a great company. We really take care of our own. We really value and try to retain our employees by providing them services that they may not get otherwise in other places. But the main thing is make sure that everyone feels valued in the workplace, that their opinion matters. We make it a point to we have a room full of new employees mixed with experienced employees, and we're asking for opinions. If I'm leading the conversation, I won't accept an opinion from an older employee. I want our younger employees to understand that their voice is just as equally valued as somebody with 20 to 30 years experience.
This is outstanding, sir. I have nothing but a smile on my face because of not just what you're saying, but the pitch and tone and enthusiasm
Oh,
of
yeah.
it. And this is great. It makes me think now, you're in a very unique position as the Community and Citizenship Director at Turner. And I'm curious about how you play a role in attracting, training, retaining, developing both employees and suppliers. If we could just take the employees first and we can go on to suppliers, if you will, sir.
All right. Part of my role, or I've expanded my role as a recruiter.
Oh, hold up. There's a sense of belonging here that says you need to be curious and you make the company better. That's what I just heard you say.
Exactly.
You expanded your role. I'm sorry. Go right ahead, sir.
So when I arrived at Turner, we here in Philadelphia had not had a relationship with the area HBCUs. So I took it a point to ingratiate myself with Delaware State, Lincoln University, and Cheney State University. So we now are currently officially a part of the career office, career fairs, recruitment activities at Delaware State and Lincoln University. And I personally attend those career fairs myself, interviewing candidates for both full-time positions and internships, which is, really helped us focus on those two schools. And in addition to that, I also mentor younger employees here in Philadelphia because of my past experience as a leader. I was a senior manager with the federal government for over 20 years. So I mentored hundreds of individuals. I actually managed the Treasury Department's mentoring program nationwide. So I mentor employees here, have conversations with them about their careers, really just focusing on what they want out of life. And then you figure out how your career helps you get to that point. So you have many different conversations. Sometimes you just want to listen. You don't even have to give advice. You just listening to what they're going through, making sure that they're okay. So I do all of that, and I enjoy it. I really do. I enjoy conversations when I go out to career fairs and talk to young people about what they want to achieve. I'll give you a story recently.
Take your time.
About a month ago, we went to the Williamson College of the Trades.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Delaware County. And it's an all-male school focusing on the building trades. It's a college focusing on the building trades. The most professional, polite, respectful students I had ever come across. And I wrote the president of that school a letter about how well their students were prepared for their career day experience. It was over 85 companies out there that day seeking to hire students from the Williamson College of Trades. So my past basketball coaching experience kind of ingratiated me with young adults, so I still enjoy interacting with them. And if I can help them, really achieve their goals and understand really the professionalism and hard work goes a long way. Sometimes the younger generations feel entitled because a lot of times their parents have provided them with everything. And you still have to reiterate that hard work, separate yourself by hard work, asking for extra assignments. If we need someone to go travel on a project site for 6 months, that may not immediately have an impact on your career, but when you're competing for a promotion 2 years from now, and you can put down, I personally volunteered to assist Turner by traveling for 6 months on a project site, that'll put you in a better position to be promoted. And those type of things. And if people never talk to younger employees about that, they never will understand it. So I figure my job is to help as many people as I can for as long as I can.
It's outstanding, sir. And nestled in everything you said, what I heard was that inclusion is important. And inclusion is not just hue of skin, gender, it has to do with generation too.
Most
Because,
definitely.
as you said, sir, everybody needs a voice where they feel like they belong and where indeed they think it has meaning and relevance to help the company. That said, declaratory statement as a result of me interviewing 40 different global companies around the world. And it is simply that most of them are saying innovation requires what you're talking about, inclusion. Because if you want the best ideas from your people, they don't need to feel fearful when it comes to sharing their ideas. And what I hear you saying, sir, and what I hear is the culture of Turner Construction Company is they're looking for those ideas.
Without a doubt. And they take it even a step further, which I can talk about right now. In addition to being the Community and Citizenship Director at Turner, I'm also this office's diversity advocate, where we ensure that inclusion is included in hiring, retaining, and promoting our employees in our workforce, and that everyone is treated fairly. I actually participate in the recaps on all employees to ensure that everyone's being treated equally across the board.
Do me a favor for our audience. Tell me what you mean when you say recap.
Alrighty. And when I say included in the recap is when managers discuss the annual performance reviews for each employee and their ratings. Will they be rated exceeding, meeting, or partially meets or not meets? And that's how they're ranked here in Turner. But I'm in the room for every single employee's rating to ensure that everyone's being treated fairly and equally. And sometimes culture comes into play. I'll give you an example. A couple years ago, an Asian female in our employee was on the border of being exceeding her evaluation or meet. And one of the things that was being evaluated was her not being as overtly conversational with subcontractors. And I brought that up in the Asian community. Females do not converse with males outside their marriage that much. That is a cultural inhibitant in females in the Asian community. And we had just had that training maybe a month before. Luckily, I was aware of that. I brought it up, and she got her exceeding evaluation. So things like that I understand. We are trained on diverse issues, cultural issues, to make sure we're aware that everyone's going to be treated fairly. And that's how far Turner goes to ensure that inclusion is across the board.
Outstanding, sir. And it brings to mind the second part of the question and something you've shared with me I want to bring up as a part of it too. But first, how you in your position assist in the same kind of things you do for employees for underutilized business enterprises.
On a daily basis, I am always trying to identify local, small, underserved businesses and contractors to work with us, even vendors, caterers, suppliers. So when I meet someone, I sit down with them, talk to them, find out where they stand. I'm just using this as an example. I meet John Daniels Carpenter Company. I find out, what have you worked on? Are you commercial, residential? What exactly do you do? And they explain it to me, and I say, well, do you have an ambition or desire to work with Turner? They may say yes, may say no. I said, well, if you do, I'm going to do everything I can do to help you get there. So what I do is I sit down and have a conversation with them. I actually created a form asking about 9 questions that help me better evaluate their capabilities. And then I ask for their capability statement. And if I think it's a good fit, I will introduce them to our procurement team. You can't just work for Turner. You got to be pre-qualified to work for Turner. It's a process. So they'll meet our procurement team. They'll explain to them what the process is and then go through it. So there are not enough small minority, female, disabled firms out there to meet the needs that most general contractors are looking for, because we don't want to go to the same small business. We would like to expand and rotate that money and help everybody, which helps the community. If we have 2 businesses that were at $100,000 a year of revenue, and if we can make those two businesses $1 million a year, that's $2 million basically in the community instead of 1. You can constantly keep going back to that same person, but at Turner, we like to identify as many as we can and share the wealth, so to speak.
Brother Davis, I like your math. It makes a difference in the community.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a
And
doubt.
you bring to mind something. I had the honor of interviewing somebody who works with iconic athletes. His name is Gotham Chopra. And he's interviewed, and if you go on Netflix, you'll see shows about Simone Biles, Kobe Bryant, a number of people. But one of the things that came up, as his partner is Tom Brady, 7-time Super Bowl champion, is what it takes to win. One, winning is an acronym. What's important now? Let's focus on being mindful right now as we have this conversation. But secondly, there's 3 words that Tom has articulated. And you've been talking about that the entire time we've been sitting here. Team, team, and team.
No one can accomplish anything by themselves. No one. And my success here at Turner, again, goes back to our CEO, Peter Davern, who is intentional on making sure that Turner makes a positive impact in the community and supportive of wherever we are building. So it starts there, but I also, here in the local Philadelphia office, have had unbelievable support at the executive level for what I do. Dave Kaminsky was my manager for most of my career here. He just got promoted, and I have a new manager, John Ricketts. They both are supportive and encouraging as it pertains to community outreach, making a positive impact in the community, supporting local, small, underserved businesses, and our Future Builders program, where we go out and speak to the schools. This year alone, I've spoken to more than 6,000 students in Philadelphia with our Introduction to Construction seminar program. And when we go back to vendors, Turner, ever since 1969, has provided small, local, and underserved businesses with the Turner School of Construction Management, which is 100% free, and it teaches small construction firms how to grow their capacity. We offer training in safety, procurement, business development, business management, marketing. This year, I brought in a young team that taught digital marketing and navigating AI as a small business. And that went over very, very well. And then I also brought in JP Morgan Chase, who has an executive coaching program, which is 100% free, that goes 14 months, and gave my class an opportunity to go to the JP Morgan Chase class too. And I work with Tim Roseborough, a vice president with JP Morgan, where we both are trying to combine our programs for the overall good of the small business.
The nature of the collaborative impact on behalf of the community and citizenship, which is what you oversee at Turner Construction, is phenomenal. I'd like to bring it back to something I'm aware of in terms of a project that has been completed at one of my favorite universities, Drexel University, not far from here at Turner headquarters in Philadelphia. But Can you tell me a little bit about the collaboration between Drexel and the other stakeholders that allowed you to be successful there? And if you have some statistics you want to share, I'd be happy to hear them. And so will the audience.
When I first joined Turner in 2021, they were in the middle of a major project on Drexel University's campus. It was called U City. And it's part of the whole initiative to develop University City here in Philadelphia. So where University City High School once stood, we built Drexel University's new medical school, and we call it they call it the Health Services Building, and another office building called 1U City, which is a large life science facility that has multiple offices in it, one of the largest life science facilities in the city of Philadelphia. And we did phenomenal as part as minority participation on that project. We were over 40%, and a lot of that was related to the cooperation that Turner had with Drexel University and the owner's representative, Wexford Science and Technology, and that all three organizations was intentionally committed to making an impact in the community and ensuring that local employees were on that project. And in that, the minorities and women were just included in that local staff. So that's how we intentionally went out and really had a very successful story to tell on those two big projects at Drexel University.
I want to make sure that I heard you right. You said 40% of this project represented
underutilized business enterprises.
It doesn't get better than that, sir.
Women, minorities, veterans, disabled, LGBTQ community, and 19104 citizens in that zip code. We were able to hire over 50 as laborers on that particular project.
So as Tom Brady says, team, you say local. Make it happen. I love it.
And how that impacts the community. That's Drexel's in 19104. If we employ citizens of 19104, they support the businesses in 19104. They support the schools in 19104. So it's a circle. It's a dynamic of supporting each other. And, we figured it out. Drexel figured it out, and Wexford figured it out. And we had a very successful project when it comes to participation there.
I love the problem solving and figuring it out. As we come to a close, I want to do two more things. One is a word association kind of game, so to speak, that allows you to share your thoughts. The other is if we haven't touched on something that you really think is important, I want you to have the floor to say it. And I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation, sir. I want to say it up front.
So did I.
So let's start with the word association if we can.
Shoot.
Purpose.
As you get older in life, really, when you're young, you're ambitious. You want to achieve this. You're looking for success. A lot of things you're trying to climb that ladder. But when you get to my age and are pretty much satisfied with what you've accomplished in life, it's how can you positively impact the lives of others, and especially those in a challenging situation, whatever it may be. It could be health, it could be finances, it could be education. How do we really help others, or how do I help others? That's what purpose means to me. How can I help somebody help themselves? The thing is, you can help somebody by lending them money, but teaching them how to make their own money would be a much better pattern and longer lasting. So that's the way I approach things as far as helping others. Don't help them for a moment, help them for a lifetime.
I love it. Teach him how to fish. I get it. I get it. Associated, but not exactly same. Calling.
It had to be a calling for me to end up here at Turner. As I stated, I was happily retired, and just on happenstance, one of my best friends referred me to this company and had to push me to even apply for this position. And I knew nothing. And when I say nothing about construction before joining Turner Construction Company, put in my application, was interviewed multiple times, and I'm happy they took me without any construction experience. But the thing was, going back to the Drexel project, there was a project executive on that project who would spend his lunch hour teaching me one-on-one about the construction industry and what it took to have a successful project, what the responsibilities of a superintendent, an engineer, assistant engineer, all those things which help me when I go out in the community and talk about the construction industry. I have a better understanding of it. So it had to be something to get me here, and it's going to take a lot to get me out of here because I really enjoy what I'm doing.
That shared next word, because I think it's associated. Peak or phrase, peak human potential. Do you have it here at Turner?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. For me personally, I've never been happier in my life. From a combination of my personal life and what I do every day for work. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy going out, meeting people, and collaborating on helping others. Because you don't do anything by yourself. And that's one of the things when you talk about share, I want everyone to know that the success I've had here at Turner is a responsibility of a lot of different individuals. And I can name off a few off the top. Catherine Gilmore Richardson, who is a city council person here, has been an enormous resource for me in the city of Philadelphia. Mark Marshall with the school district. The Carpenters Union, Joe Lockley, Bob Landy, Ryan Boyer, with District Labor Council. It's just so many people. Joe Hohenstein, state representative here in Kensington, who personally asked me to join him on career fairs in his district. Just a lot of people, throughout the city. Alan Riddick at Drexel. He's their supplier diversity executive there. Vincent Gums at the University of Pennsylvania. Donald Moore, at the University of, at Children's Hospital, I'm sorry. So there's a lot of people, and I constantly go back and forth with them, and they're supportive. And then, like I said, I can't thank anyone more than the leadership we have here in Philadelphia that actually pushes me, encourages me, and supports me to accomplish what I've done.
So your peak human potential is enhanced by the stakeholders, collaborators, supporters of what you do at Turner. It doesn't get better than that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Final word, which I think will be easy for you. Service.
Well, spending so many years as a federal law enforcement officer, that was service. When you're extracting criminals off the street. And, and a part of my career, the latter part of my career, I worked a lot of counterterrorism, dealing with issues. And then we did a lot of these scams against the elderly, where I personally investigated people who have stole $600, $700, $800,000 from senior citizens. And how you could do that, I didn't live with yourself, I don't know.
Look in the mirror.
But that was service. When we
Yes.
were able to lock up rings like that, it was very satisfying. But it's also very satisfying when I go out to schools and, you talk to different kids or whatever, and next thing you know, they're in an apprentice program or a carpenter. And they thank you when they see you down the street, or their parents, which is even more rewarding, come and thank you for talking to their son or daughter because you made an impact on their son or daughter's life. So that's the reward I get. And that's what I really, when I call service, that's what I do. And, it's A lot of people say service, but it's really not. It's doing the right thing at the right time. And you can be rewarded for that, but in my opinion, you shouldn't be, because if everybody was like that, the world would be a much better place.
You know, sir, as we know, the title of this show is Backstory and Beyond.
Yes.
Your backstory is intriguing, but what you've done with it to go much beyond it is just stunning.
I
And
appreciate
and
that, John.
these are all the things that you shared. Hey, look, man, it's from the head, heart, habit, and hands. I hear the character, conduct, and conversation of a good man.
Thank you.
So it doesn't get better than that. Look, we've talked about a lot, went to a lot of different spaces and places. We may have missed something, we may not have, but the floor is yours for anything you want to add to the wonderful things that you shared about Turner Construction Company, your duties here as the Community and Citizenship Director, however you want to take it, sir. The floor is yours.
Well, I'll finish up by stating, first of all, I want to thank John for giving me this opportunity to even discuss my responsibilities here with Turner and really put a spotlight on what Turner believes in, not just in the community, but in our own offices as far as taking care of our employees. It's a good marketing opportunity, actually, and we need employees right now. So anybody listening to this and you want a job, send me your resume. But, I'm just thankful, John, for the position I'm in here with Turner. As I stated, personally, I have my health. I have my dog, who's my best friend, Kobe, at home, who brings me a lot of joy. I like to travel. I'm a foodie. I love going out to the great restaurants here in Philadelphia. And I'm a reader. I like to read books, mystery novels all the time. So, when you live your life being able to do what you enjoy most of the time and have little drama and disruption, you can't ask for anything better than that, and that's what I'm appreciative for.
Gentleman and the scholar you are, sir.
Thank you,
for
John.
taking some time with us, man.
I appreciate
And looking forward to the next chapter.
it.
Excellent.
Thanks, John.